I call on the representative of Morocco.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this is an exercise that we are engaging in this room, and I am exercising my right of reply. In particular, this is important when it comes to a brother country, a neighbouring country. You can't change your neighbours. However, at the same time, you cannot remain silent when you are accused of things that are not true. That's why I requested this right of reply to set the record straight on 3 mistruths and to make a comment. His Excellency, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Algeria, stated this morning that the Sahara needed to be decolonized. I must say that Algeria needs to wake up from its sleep. They're still stuck in the Cold War, and they need to wake up to realize that Moroccan Sahara is independent. In terms of its integration in the motherland, the Kingdom of Moroccan, and that has been the case for 50 years. Algeria has perhaps forgotten, or perhaps they're pretending to have forgotten, that in this very room here, a resolution was adopted in Algeria's presence, Resolution 345B, which was adopted almost half a century ago. And this attests to the end of the Spanish colony and the return of the Sahara to its motherland. It's the Madrid Agreement. That is a truth, it's the reality. This is an agreement that was struck in line with international law. This is an agreement, I'd like to recall, historic agreement, and the late President Boumediene, during the Arab League summit in Rabat, talking to his brother princes and heads of state, stated that he would support any formula that would allow the Sahara to be decolonized. Well, 1 year later, 1 year after that, Moroccan Sahara was indeed decolonized. That's the first counter-truth I wanted to respond to. The second one, Mr. President, the Algerian minister stated that his country supported the efforts of the Secretary-General. In that regard, I'd like to say that it's absolute nonsense. It's not true, Mr. President. Just because, and a lot of people must know, the envoy was nominated 3 years ago. He was appointed 3 years ago. Why hasn't there been a single meeting here or anywhere else? Well, the reason is because Algeria is refusing to return to the negotiating table. It's refusing to take its seat at the negotiating table. It's renouncing the political process, and Algeria is rejecting the resolution that is based on a political process. And the minister said this morning that he supports the political process. It's really quite bizarre that Algeria say that they want to support the efforts of the personal envoy and the efforts of the Secretary-General. However, they are imposing the conditions, who can come, who's allowed to participate, who's not. And it's quite strange that Algeria, who claims to support the political process, are opposed to their name being cited in rejecting the resolution, even though they are cited in all the Security Council resolutions as a main stakeholder in this regional dispute, and that they must return to their seats at the negotiating table. We hope that when the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Algeria will meet the personal envoy this afternoon, he'll be able to tell him finally that Algeria is returning to the negotiating table, that they'll be able to give him that good news, that they'll be doing that in line with the Security Council resolution and in line with the statement made by that very minister this morning from that rostrum up there. The third mistruth, Mr. President, the minister accused Morocco of falsifying an immutable reality. We sometimes say that there's nothing worse than a blind man that doesn't want to see. What is Morocco trying to change or falsify? Well, nothing, actually. We're doing everything in broad daylight in the eyes of the international community. And we're doing it here in this very room. We're doing it with friendly countries. And I'd just like to tell the Algerian delegation and His Excellency, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, that there is no truth that Algeria... Well, the truth that Algeria refuses to see is that over 100 members of the international community support the Moroccan autonomy initiative. And many of them are members of the European Union. France, Spain, Germany, Denmark, Slovenia, Finland, just to cite a few that have recognised this over the last few months. Furthermore, this room has heard the voices of many heads of state and government who have not only supported the initiative of Moroccan autonomy, but also supported Morocco's sovereignty over its Sahara. The next truth that the Algerian delegation is pretending to ignore is that 29 consulates have been opened in Moroccan Sahara, and the 30th one is currently being built and will be opened soon, and there will be others. And I hope the Algerian delegation will put on a different lens so they can finally see the light, see what exactly is happening in Moroccan Sahara. Another reality is economic development. That's something that Algeria does not want to see in the Moroccan Sahara. Motorways, the longest bridge in Africa. We have 4,000 trucks crossing at the Gilgalet Passage. We have hospitals, universities, excellent schools. We have foreign investment, solar energy. That is the reality that Algeria does not want to see. And we hope that soon they will realise the truth. They will see the light, that we're not trying to hide what's happening in Moroccan Sahara. The last thing I wanted to say, Mr. President, is more of a comment. It's more of a remark. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Algeria talked about the threats that weigh on the Sahel-Sahara region. Terrorist threats, separatist threats, lack of development. For once, I agree with him. I agree with his prognosis. However, His Excellency the Minister forgot to mention the remedy and also the causes. Because what is the cause of this? Well, it's Algeria. Algeria is responsible for all of the problems that the Sahel and the Sahara face. Because where do the terrorists and extremists hide? Where do they seek refuge? Where do these separatists seek refuge? Well, the answer is in Algerian territory. It's true, Mr. President. There is a terrorist threat in the Sahel-Sahara region. There is a separatist threat. There is an extremist threat, but it's because of your country. Algeria's borders are crossed and full of terrorists and separatists. Furthermore, the minister didn't talk about the remedies either. The remedy, the solution is simple. halt your interference in the internal affairs of the countries of the region. Put an end to your efforts to not respect the will of your neighbours, and also stop interfering in the politics of these countries. And my last observation, re-listen to the speech of the eminent minister made on Saturday from this rostrum here at the General Assembly. The minister that taught about this situation, that exposed the relationship.
Je m'arrête ici, Monsieur le...
I'll stop there, Mr. President. Thank you.